Hello, welcome to Periscope. Happy holidays to everyone. Hello. Give some people time to get on board. Hello, welcome to Periscope. My name is Kathleen. Forgive me, I'm feeling a bit under the weather. I felt so bad last night, I literally just came home and passed out. I passed out. I woke up. I got off work at 8 and I came home. I remember welcome to Periscope. This is day 3. I'm going to do 3 and 4 today. For this 7 days of change that I've been going over with you guys. I was just saying that last night I got home at 8:38. Well, I fell asleep at 8:38 and I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I felt so bad. Some type of flu bug or something, whatever is trying to grab a hold of me. So I'm kind of fighting that thing. But other than that, I'm okay. So we're going to move on. I want to kind of go over what we talked about on day 1 and day 2 before we move to day 3 and day 4. And I'm going to record 3 right now. And then I'll be back on board in about a few minutes with day 4. So this is day 3. Day 1 I kind of kicked it off by saying, what do you need to know? And this is all about changing from I feel to I am. So we're getting control of our feelings. I said we live in this emoticon society or emoji society where people are, I feel this way. I feel sad. I feel, whatever you feel. And they use those little yellow emoticons or emojis to express it. So I find that there are a lot of people who are, quote unquote, in their feelings or feeling some type of way or whatever the case may be. And so I, early on in my life, I talked about how God had given me so much conquering power over all those little weapons of the enemy. I grew up in an atmosphere and an element of abuse and verbal abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. Going through all of that, I found out at the age of 13, I had a voice. And that voice could say, I don't believe that. And because the abuse was coming from persons who I should respect and who had the authority in the house, it was very difficult for me to have a voice. Because if the abuse is coming from someone who is in authority that you're supposed to mind, then you can't really speak against that. So what I did was begin to internalize my thoughts and to develop my thought processes. And one of the things I learned was to just turn it off and just be like, I don't believe that. So in my head, when people were yelling and screaming at me and saying to me, oh, you're dumb, you're stupid, you're four-eyed, you're ugly, you're this, you're that. In my head, I was just saying I don't believe that. And I could tell they could feel it and that they didn't know what I was saying, but they knew I wasn't receiving it because of the way that I looked. And I probably was just like, you know what I mean? Because in my head, I was rejecting those thoughts. So the first day I said, what do you need to know? You need to know that you are the owner and the operator of your thoughts. What will you discover? That you have power to control, process, and reject thoughts. And that's your ability. What will you become? I said you will become a walking commander-in-chief of your life. Day 2, I said, what are you going to do? We're moving from I feel to I am. What are you going to do? Decide what you want, is what I said. Rehearse it, believe you can have it. Marry the ideal. You have to go back and watch day 2 to see all of this. So back to the rejection piece. I want to focus solely on that tonight. We live in this society where we believe everything happens. I hear a lot of people say everything happens for a reason. You really can't do anything about life. Things happen, whatever. So what part of life do you get to control? Well, you certainly get to control your thoughts, your ideas, your beliefs. Rejection means I don't want to own it. So when you don't want to own something, it's up to you to decide to reject it. So it's up to you to make the choice, to make the decision to not have it be a part of your life. It means I don't want it to be mine. I don't want to possess it. I don't want to have to deal with it. I refuse it. I'm walking away from it. It is something. Rejection is a skill. It's practiced and it's developed. So you can accept some things, and you can also reject some things. And then later on, I may hit on interjection. I can talk about it now. Interjection, like, you can have your thoughts about what you believe about yourself for whatever reason you believe them. But then you have people who try to interject thoughts, or they try to make you believe or conceive the thought that they have about you. It's just like recently, I would say about a month or so ago, I was at church, and one of the young ladies there, a lady there, was having a conversation with me. And so this one person drove up, and she characterized me as Crazy Kathy because of the way I wear, my hair or whatever. She said that I look like a person in a comic strip or something named Crazy Kathy. So she said, "Hey, Crazy Kathy." And I said, no. Like, you can't even name me Crazy Kathy. That's not even fun for me. So she was like, "No, it was this character and this and that." And I said, "I get it, but you can't call me that. Because, see, you are the owner and operator of your thoughts. You get to reject whatever idea or belief someone else tries to put on you." So, I know it wasn't a big deal, but it's me, and I get to reject it. And so I did. And so she apologized, and she said, "Well, I'll never call you that again." I said, "Well, thank you, because you wouldn't want me to call you Looney Linda." So, excuse me. So it's just like, you have to be in a position of power, of authority. So rejection, this is a tool, this is an exercise just to show you how easy it is to reject something. Not going to do like a miracle, right? Not going to do like, something fancy. This is a straight up tool. See, people believe it's hard to change. People believe it's impossible to change. People believe there's no point in changing. But you're a human being. You have the ability to change at any point in time in your life, to develop new ideas, to different ways to process thoughts, and tonight I'm teaching you how to reject thought. So, not going to make a big deal about it. I'm just going to get right into it, and this will be short. But the thing about it is, I want you to begin to implement, to use these tools that I'm teaching you. So just like I just said to you, that I don't, remember, this is my key. I'm unlocking your minds, your way of thinking. When I say to you that no one has the right to interject or put on you their thoughts, beliefs, or ideas, then I want you to keep that in mind. On the first day, you were supposed to write down your whole list of everything that you were, or thoughts, ideas that you had about yourself, whether they were injected, created by yourself, or the atmosphere that you grew up in. Everything that was negative, you were supposed to make a list. The second day, I asked you to do the opposite, was to draw an arrow and write exactly what you wanted to be opposite of what was on the left side, which was negative, the right side, which was positive. So now, in practice, we are going to learn how to reject thoughts. So everything on the right side of the paper, you got to start rejecting it. You on the left side of the paper, in order to get to the right side of the paper where your list is, you have to begin to reject. Every time someone says something to you that matches that left side, that negativity, you have to begin to immediately reject that thought. Like I said, when I was a young lady growing up with persons of authority over me, I had a voice, but I had to internalize that voice. It was in my head. So everything you're doing, you may be able to voice it out, But let's just say you're talking to your manager at work and she says to you, you know, you're doing a poor job, you know, you'll never be able to move up to management, things of that nature. Well, you know, the lady or the man doesn't like you. They're not going to give you a hands up on anything that you're trying to do. They really want to see you fired or they want you to quit, whatever the case may be. So whenever your manager comes to you, let's just use that as a scenario here. Whenever your manager comes to you and he says to you, well, look at you. You'll never make management. You'll always be working at the bottom level of this department. There's no room for you in management. They don't even hire people that look like you in management. Internalize. Reject the thought. You must be saying in your head at this time, if you are practicing what I'm telling you to practice, I don't believe that. You have to be saying in your head, your goals are not my goals. So in your head, you're saying, I shall obtain, whatever it is I desire in life, whether it's at this company or not. Your boss man is going to be looking at you because you're going to have like a little smile on your face, not a smirk. Or you may just be standing there in cold play. But he's going to know that you're not receiving his message. He can't really respond because you haven't said anything. So whether you being able to say it out loud is great, but be able to internalize it. Have it develop within you so you know that you know who you are, right? Not how you feel, because feelings fluctuate based on circumstances, situations, if somebody did something to you, who shot John, whatever. But knowing who you are, you're able to navigate life more smoothly, where things don't impact you. Words don't impact you. The words have power. So you have to learn how to reject them and then use words as your power over the words that you're going to reject. So let's get into this simple exercise. How do you choose what you're going to reject? You choose it because, like I said in lesson number 2 on day 2, if you don't want it, you reject it. Simple. I have 2 boots here. These are boots. They're orange. They're high. Of course, this is a boot. Which do I want? Well, obviously, I wanted both of them. I bought both of them. But for this exercise, choose. Is it something I want, that I need in my life, that I want? If not, I have to reject it. So I want to reject the orange. And I want to keep the brown. Okay? It's just that simple. Someone walks up to you, says anything to you that you don't want, that it's not you. It doesn't represent you because you're not on the left side of the paper anymore. You're not in that negative space anymore. You're not even hearing negative words anymore. Rejection. Maybe you can't say it out. Maybe you can't say it verbally or vocally. Internalize it, because that's developing your spirit, man. That's developing your internal, your internal signals. It's developing your instinct so you can move to a position of I feel to I am on autopilot. Practice, practice, practice on everything. So then someone comes to you with a thought, and the thought is, why are you trying to go to school, to better yourself? You think you are more than the next person, and you believe just because that's your leopard print flat, right? But you're thinking, if I can just get my life on track, I could be super, I could do great. Hey, this bachelor's degree is going to make a difference. This master's degree is going to make a difference in my life. I really want to do it. And you have other people over there. Why are you trying to be different? Why are you trying? You already got a bachelor's. Why you want a master's degree? You will never get the position that you want, even if you go to school. What do you want? What do you want? You want the flatness? It's not you. It's not what you're trying to do right now. Or you want a more beautiful, better, more colorful life. I love these shoes, by the way. You choose what you want. You choose the thoughts. You choose. I had another book. I was going to do some more demonstrations. Whatever it is about your life, whatever you've heard, you're not a good father. You're not a good mother. You're not a good this. You're not a good that. You'll never make it. Anything negative, anything on the left-hand side of that paper, anything. When from now on, when you hear it, when you're faced with it, when you're challenged with it, what are you going to do? Good job. You're going to reject it. Now, I just got this guitar. I'm determined to learn how to play this baby. The first day I got it, somebody said, it's going to sit up there. This is the funniest thing you've ever done. It's going to sit there and you're never even going to touch it. I bet it never moves off that wall. Ain't it funny how it's like whenever you go to try to do something, I mean, they don't mean any harm. The person loves you to death, probably. They don't really, I don't know. They don't mean any harm. It's just that people haven't learned the power of their tongue. So they always just talking. They're always just saying stuff. And we form opinions based, and we form our life around the things that we believe, that we hear. And they become concrete in our thinking. So, and then we begin apologizing for what we believe that we can actually have out of life. Instead of embracing the fact that I get to choose. Even if I bought the guitar and I don't learn how to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star on the guitar, I got to choose. Now, of course, that would mean I would need to start making better choices if I'm going to make choices to spend money on stuff and not actually go through the process of learning it. That's another story. But you get to choose. Don't ever let someone tell you what you think and believe about yourself. Never, ever. Even with my husband, can I be very blunt? Can I be very honest with you guys? I had to tell him. I'm not a streetwalker. I don't act like a streetwalker. Don't try to make me a streetwalker. You know what I'm saying? Like just having real talk conversation. Like, value me as a wife. Right? I'm not saying he does. I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying that you have to make it clear. You have to know who you are, what you will and will not do. You can't identify with what people call you. You have to have your own self-identity. It's not about a feeling, people. It's about managing those feelings and managing those thoughts, right? Having complete control. Moving from I feel to I am. And that's how you're going to find your power. That's how you're going to tune into the gift that God gave you. That's how you're going to be able to walk in authority and power, right? That's the only way. So that takes care of day 3. The next time we're going to move on to day 4, where I'm going to talk about, we just talked about rejection. Now we're going to talk about connection. Day 1 was a very hard day because you were supposed to come up with a list of all the negative things you believed about yourself. Now we're going to do some connections. It's very, you need to know about your connections, and I'm going to tell you why. Right? I'm going to tell you why it's important to know your connections. And then what? Yeah, I can't even get into it. It could be confusing. So this was day 3. I'm going to see you on day 4 in just a moment.